Hey there, my name is Skyblaze103, and in this video I'm going to be speedrunning the Rikiri Axe in Lumber Tycoon 2. I've been into a lot of Minecraft speedrunning lately, and I played this game a lot in my past, so I thought it'd be fun to speedrun it itself too. I chose the Rikiri Axe as the speedrun, as it does make the most sense, in which there are multiple parts that you have to do, and there's only one way to complete it, really. I didn't manage to find anybody else who's actually done this before, so it is technically a world record. Lumber Tycoon 2 is not on speedrun.com, but as of making this video, I'm going to be attempting to request that it is added. It does seem to fill all the requirements, so hopefully it gets added. I'm not sure about what my success with it will be, but it's possible. So at the beginning here, since nobody's actually done this before, I'm kind of just making this up as I go, but I believe that the most fair way to speedrun this game would be to use a private server or just a new server. Public servers could be a bit iffy. I feel like they could be allowed as long as like the player doesn't get any external help from players. But it's not guaranteed that that won't happen. Also, the advantage you would get with private servers is being able to time the time of the day that you play, so then you don't, so then Fancy Furnishings doesn't close on you while you're trying to purchase the light bulb. I believe the most fair way to start would be to not move until the server is completely finished initializing, and then starting your timer as soon as you start going forward. Alright, so here I start the timer, I load my slot, and I overwrite my last speedrun slot. And then I purchase the first axe, and the only axe I can purchase, the basic hatchet, and open it as quick as possible. Then I look for some good trees with fat trunks that I'll be able to make $230 off of. $230 is just enough to buy a shabby sawmill and a plot of land. Usually this takes about 3 to 4 trees, preferably it'll be 3. I'm clicking about 7 to 8 CPS on these trees, but it doesn't seem that they fall any faster. Then I bring it over to the wood drop off and carry it in actually the trunk first. Then I slide it in enough so then it'll sell the trunk, and then the rest of the branches will nicely fall apart. So then I can chuck them all into the drop off, and I managed to get a nice $119 off of that tree, which is a very good amount for the first one. Proceed to cut down the second one. This is a voiceover, by the way, as I did want to talk about what I was doing, but didn't want to say it every single time I did the run. I'm bringing it over to the wood drop off. Throw it in, guide the rest of the branches in. Then take the 2 remaining, and I actually come up with a total sum of $232, which is very good for just 2 trees, which I actually hadn't managed to do before this run. So it was off to a pretty good start, except here when I accidentally clicked no when I was gonna buy the shabby sawmill. I then bring it over to the land store so I can purchase my first plot of land. Now, interesting thing here, you can't spam anything other than E to chat with Reuven, because otherwise it'll actually break the talking process. But I just click them in fast session and open my sawmill, place it on my land before I get there, and start to cut down the base of one tree. Once I have it, I bring it back over to my base. And I increase the plank cross section to the maximum amount allowed for the shabby sawmill. Cut up the base of this tree, and I do a little trick where I move the shabby sawmill, move it into where it is, and then press B to quit, so then it goes back there. I then remove my land sign and bring it over to the wood drop off, as you can sell it. With the sawmill trick, that does mean that the run isn't completely glitchless, although it isn't a major glitch, but it's fine, and it's necessary for fast times. Out of the sign, I'm not actually sure what the exact algorithm of calculating how much you get is, but it always gives you more than 400, which is enough to get a car. In this case, it gave me 550, which is a very good amount. Then place it on my land and reset my character to save a bit of time. I don't need my basic hatchet anymore anyway. I chuck the plank that I made earlier into the truck and drive it over to the drop-off. I then drive back over into the store. And I go straight for the steel axe. I found it's most efficient to skip over the plain axe, so I don't have to waste that money. I then proceed to cut down another tree, as here I now need to collect $540, enough to lower the bridge once and buy 2 dynamite from Bob's shack. I struggle a bit with putting the wood in the truck, but it's Lumber Tycoon 2. Everybody does. One falls out, but it's fine. And I continue to process all the log. And unfortunately, my car does get stuck on this one branch, but it's fine because respawning them only costs 6 money, which is I can definitely afford. I am processing quite a bit. I just want to be safe and make sure that I get enough and not too little. And I load them all into my truck, car, whatever you want to call it, vehicle, utility vehicle. And I drive my truck back over to the wood drop-off. If you don't already know, planks are worth a very, very large amount more than logs, as 1 unit of oak log is worth $1.50, but 1 unit of oak plank is worth $10. Chuck it all into the drop-off. You get 823 money, which is definitely more than enough. And I head over to Bob's shack in the safari. I pay Serenok $100 to lower the bridge, and then I have to wait for the bridge to lower all the way, which is kind of a pain. Now there is a game pass on the Lumber Tycoon 2 store called Super Bridge that I feel should not be allowed within this run, as it would be kind of pay to win. Unfortunately, this means that people who have the game pass, if they were trying to speedrun this, they would not be able to use their main account, but there's no way to disable it or anything, and it does give you an unfair advantage in which, from the times that I use the bridge in my speedrun, which is twice, they would have to pay $200 less, and that is an unfair advantage. And then jump out of my car, grab the dynamite, place it on the shelf, purchase it. Here I do almost forget to grab the second dynamite, as this is actually my first run using 2 dynamite instead of 1. As I had issues with the dynamite in previous runs that I'll talk about later, that I thought it would be best to just play it safe and grab 2. If you haven't figured it out already, I'm going to be going to the taiga to get frostwood to get the $7,000 plus that I need to get the materials for their Kyriak. Definitely want to get frostwood as it is very thin in diameter, meaning it'll fit in my shabby sawmill. Lava logs are just a bit too big, and I don't think there's any other, and frostwood just gives a lot of money, 106 per unit. So in the future there may be ways that people find to get money even faster, but this is what I just saw as probably the fastest way. So I took it. Not sure how serious this speedrun in Lumber Tycoon 2 thing will be, but if it does, that can be left for people to figure out in the future. Then park my car right behind that rock and carry out the dynamite. I place it close to the center of the rocks and detonate it. Here I almost get hit by a rock, but all the rocks clear away and I drive through and head straight for the entrance to the Taiga Mountain Passage. Frostwood is located at the top of the Taiga Peak, so will require a bit of driving. I do feel like it could be faster to use a method, a known method in which you can climb up walls with, like, it's like you're climbing the axe, but then you're also dragging the axe along with you. That would be quite a glitch. It just is that driving up the mountain does take quite a bit of time. and that could save a bit of time, but I was not able to do it consistently, and again, I wanted to play it safe. I do a lot of playing safe in this run, in which if someone were to not play safe and successfully not play safe, they would be able to cut off quite a bit of time. But this is the first and only run so far, so I'm not that serious about that. There's nobody I have to beat because I'm the only one. I parked my car right here and kind of launched myself out of it because I hit the wall, and just climb over this little barrier to save a bit of time so I don't have to walk all the way around a corner. I jumped the corner here. I do notice that walking is quite slow in this game. Turn the corner and there's the peak with all the frostwood. I then look around for 2 good big frostwood trees that I can cut down and try to cut them as close to the base as I can. This does take a while and I am clicking quite fast, but the axes are just still quite slow. I then chuck the tree down the slide and look around for another one that's big enough. I do want a bit of a bigger tree than this one, but then I figure that tree will be fine. I don't want to walk too far for a different one. I chuck that one down the slide, and I go back to my car through this little shortcut. I hop into the front seat and I begin to drive back down. Now here I do drive all the way down along the long flat ramp. It does take quite a bit of time, and you could cut off quite a bit of time by actually driving your car down the slide or over the ledges and hoping that it lands on its wheels and doesn't flip. But I had too many unsuccessful attempts with that, more unsuccessful than successful, in which once your car flips, there's nothing you can really do. If you go back to your base, I mean, it just wastes so much time if you flip your car. Here I do look over the edge a bit to make sure that no frostwood has gotten stuck on the ledge, in which there's not. I have tried another time to drive straight down this way, in which there were more successful attempts of landing on my wheels, but I still just want to play it safe, as I do a lot in this run, and I drive all the way around the long way. So time could be cut off here in the future. I am looking around. I only saw one tree here, so I'm looking around for the second tree, but I can't manage to see it. And I begin chopping up this wood. I can take as much time as I need here, as I do have a second dynamite. Although, I obviously want to take as little time as possible. I need to cut up all the logs into small enough sizes to stack them in my car nicely, and so they don't fall out while I'm driving. I would have to do this when processing them for my sawmill anyway, back at my base, if I had grabbed the full trees. It does take quite a while to do with the steel axe, but there's not that much I can do about that. I want to get enough logs, but I don't want the tiny logs. I do need enough logs to get the $7,000 plus that I need for materials for the Recurry Axe anyways. To be honest, I didn't actually know the exact amount at this time. I knew that it was over $7,000, but a source I had looked at previously was wrong, and it screwed me over in a run in which I was short of money to purchase the light bulb. So I did want to get enough. I'm almost ready to go back here, so I pack everything nicely, and I hop in my car and drive back over to the boulders. Here I actually get really lucky, and the boulders actually fall in a way that it allows me to go back to the main biome without using a TNT, or a dynamite I mean, which is very helpful. It saves me a bit of time, and I can save that dynamite so I won't need to spend the $220 on it in the future when I need to go back. I then drive all the way back to my base and begin to process the wood. Frostwood is very slippery, so it kind of slides on the ground as it comes out. Then drive my car over to the pile and begin to throw them into the trunk. After that, I drive straight back to the wood drop-off to sell them. As I said earlier, Icewood does make very good money for their plank, and I got quite a bit. All I could really do is hope that it was enough, though. I knew that I didn't have to buy the dynamite, but I still wasn't sure how much exactly that I would need. After I sold it all, it ended up being 7,025, which I was pretty certain was not enough for me to purchase it. So I went back and processed some more wood, which did take quite a bit of time. After this, I end up with 7,416, which I'm pretty sure is the amount, but I didn't do the exact math beforehand that I should have. So I can't be sure. I then pay Saranac another $100 to lower the bridge, and wait for it to lower all the way again. and then look around to see what time of day it is, which it doesn't look that close to night, but I still head straight for Fancy Furnishings first, just to be sure that night won't screw me over by closing the shop, as it is the only shop I need to visit that does close at night. I grab the light bulb and bring it over to the counter. I then head into Bob's Shack and grab the can of worms at the back, which is $3,200, quite expensive, but gotta pay it. I am then left with 1,516 money. I head back over the main biome into Wood R Us, in which I intend to buy the bag of sand, which is the last item I need for the quest. I grab it, I bring it over to the counter, and then I encounter a problem. Sandbag costs 1,600. I do not have 1,600. In which I need to go back and process some more wood, which again takes quite a bit of time. I guess my main issue was that I did not have enough money that I needed, which did end up wasting me a lot of time. So to work around this in the future, I think the best way would be to get 3 frostwood trees. I still didn't want to end the run here, as I had been trying a lot of times, and there wasn't anybody in particular I was trying to beat. But I think the best way around it would be to get 3 frostwood trees and get mostly the trunk and lower branches. Then the limit you encounter there is the space in your car for more wood. But I think if you just cut down the trunks and the base branches, you should have enough. And then throw in all the wood I have, go back into the store. And I purchased the bag of sand for real this time. I then head back to the taiga, and unfortunately the boulders have blocked my path that I used to come back to the main biome. I realized that I parked my car a little too close, so I moved it back behind the rock. and grab the dynamite again. And then drive to over where I believe the den was again. I hadn't actually played this game in quite a while, or done the Rikiri-X quest. I didn't actually know exactly where it was, so I do waste a bit of time, again, searching a bit for it. But once I find it, I park my vehicle, get my stuff out, and go over to the hatch. I open the hatch, throw all this stuff in, as well as myself. And then open the items and give the items to their respectable people. And the holy music starts playing and the axe begins to come down. Now it doesn't actually allow me to grab it here. I'm not sure if it was because I was spamming E or not, but I do stop the timer a bit early because of this. So the real time is actually this on screen right now. But that is my completed Rikiri-X run from nothing. I did make quite a few mistakes in this run. I do feel like there are still places where time could be cut down even more, but nobody that I could find has done it yet on recording. So, that's a world record.